Lila Diane Sawyer is the former anchor of ABC News's nightly flagship program ABC World News. Previously, Sawyer had been co-anchor of ABC News's morning news program Good Morning America and Primetime Newsmagazine. Early in her career, she was a member of U.S. President Richard Nixon's White House staff and closely associated with the president himself. Early life and education. Born in Glasgow, Kentucky, Sawyer is the daughter of Jean W. Sawyer, an elementary school teacher, and Urban Power's Tom Sawyer, a judge. Her ancestry includes English, Irish, Scots-Irish, and German. Soon after her birth, her family moved to Louisville, where her father rose to local prominence as a Republican politician and community leader. He was Kentucky's Jefferson County Judge Executive when he was killed in a car accident on Louisville's Interstate 64 in 1969. E.P. Tom Sawyer State Park, located in the Fraser Hill area of Louisville, is named in his honor. Sawyer attended Seneca High School in the Bushel area of Louisville. She served as an editor-in-chief for her school newspaper, called The Arrow, and joined in many artistic activities. However, she always felt that she was in the shadow of her older sister, Linda. Diane, as a teen, said she was insecure and something of a loner. She would say that she was happy going off by herself or with a group of friends and, when she was with her friends, they would call themselves reincarnated transcendentalist, and would read Emerson and Thoreau down by a creek. In her senior year of high school, in 1963, she won first place in the annual National America's Junior Miss Scholarship pageant as a representative from the Commonwealth of Kentucky. She won by her strength of poise in the final interview and her essay comparing the music of the North and the South during the Civil War. At first, Sawyer thought that traveling around the country as America's Junior Miss would be a terrifying experience, but it made her learn to think on her feet and do it with poise and grace. So, during the period from 1962 to 1965, Sawyer was America's Junior Miss, touring the country to promote the Coca-Cola Pavilion at the 1964–1965 New York World's Fair. In 1967, she received a Bachelor of Arts degree with a major in English from Wellesley College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. There, she was a member of the Wellesley College Blue Notes, an a cappella singing group, and Phi Sigma Lecture Society. She attended one semester of law school at the University of Louisville before turning to journalism. Career. Immediately after her graduation, Sawyer returned to Kentucky and was employed as weather forecaster for WLKY-TV in Louisville. In Sawyer's opinion, the weather was boring, so she would occasionally add quotes to keep it interesting. Finally, Sawyer was promoted to a general assignment post, but this did not sustain her interest for long. In 1970, Sawyer moved to Washington, D.C., and, unable to find work as a broadcast journalist, she interviewed for positions in government offices. She eventually became an assistant to Jerry Warren, the White House deputy press secretary. Initially, Sawyer wrote press releases and quickly graduated to other tasks like drafting some of President Richard Nixon's public statements. Within a few months, she became an administrative assistant to White House Press Secretary Ron Ziegler and eventually to staff assistant for U.S. President Richard Nixon. Sawyer continued through Nixon's resignation from the presidency in 1974 and worked on the Nixon-Ford transition team in 1974–1975, after which he decamped with Nixon to California and helped him write his memoirs, published in 1978. She also helped prepare Nixon for his famous set of television interviews with journalist David Frost in 1977. Years later, Sawyer would be suspected of being Deep Throat, the source of leaks of classified information to journalist Bob Woodward during the Watergate scandal. In 2005, Deep Throat was identified as W. Mark Felt, but prior to that, Rabbi Baruch Korfer, a longtime Nixon confidant and defender known as Nixon's Rabbi A.A. said on his deathbed that he believed Sawyer was Deep Throat. Sawyer laughed it off and became one of 6 people to request and receive a public denial from Woodward. When Sawyer came back to Washington, D.C., in 1978, she joined CBS News as a general assignment reporter. She was promoted to political correspondent in February 1980 and featured on the weekday broadcasts of Morning with Charles Kuralt. When CBS expanded its morning news show from 60 to 90 minutes, Sawyer was announced as co-anchor on May 13, 1981, by the president of CBS News. With her debut on September 28, 1981, she put her own stamp on the broadcast. The ratings for the show were boosted upon Sawyer's arrival, but the improvement did not last, and, after Kuralt left the show, he was replaced by Bill Curtis. The ratings decreased further, and Sawyer asked to be reassigned. In 1984, she became the first female correspondent on 60 Minutes, a CBS News investigative television news magazine. During Sawyer's 5 years with 60 Minutes, the program regularly ranked among the top 5 most watched in the country. In 1989, she moved to ABC News to co-anchor Primetime Live news magazine with Sam Donaldson. From 1998 to 2000, she co-anchored ABC's 20/20, also a news magazine, broadcast on Wednesdays with Donaldson and on Sundays with Barbara Walters. In 1999, Sawyer returned to morning news as the co-anchor of Good Morning America with Charles Gibson. The assignment was putatively temporary, but her success in the position, measured by a close in the gap with frontrunner Today, NBC News' morning program, sustained her in the position far longer than anticipated. In 2000, Sawyer returned as co-anchor of Primetime News magazine now called Primetime Thursday, with Gibson replacing Donaldson. In 2004, when the show's title was changed to its original name, Primetime Live, a new executive producer was hired, and the news magazine format was changed to investigative reporting with Sawyer rotating as the co-anchor with Chris Cuomo, Cynthia McFadden, and John Keir +or-1s. In 2005, the show was retitled Primetime, and Sawyer left the show at the end of 2006 when its format again changed, with a sub-series focus. On September 2, 2009, Sawyer was announced as the successor to Gibson, who retired as the anchor of ABC World News, on Friday, December 18, 2009. Sawyer left GMA on December 11, 2009, and was scheduled to become the ABC World News anchor in January 2010. However, on December 1, 2009, the New York Times reported that, instead of moving to ABC World News in January 2010, Sawyer would start on December 21, 2009, 3 days after Gibson's departure. For over a year, with Katie Couric as then anchor of CBS Evening News, 2 of the 3 network news anchors on broadcast television were women. Ratings initially rose 8% after Sawyer's first 4 weeks, averaging 8.8 million viewers. She signs off at the end of her nightly broadcast with "I'll see you right back here tomorrow night." The show, like the competing evening newscasts, ended the year with ratings 14% below that of the preceding year. Currently, in 2014, she is the anchor of ABC's flagship broadcast World News and the network's principal anchor for breaking news coverage, election coverage, and special events. On June 25, 2014, it was announced that she would step down from the anchor chair at ABC World News in September 2014. She will remain with ABC News and will focus on creating specials and conducting high-profile interviews. Career timeline: 1967 to 1970, WLKY TV news and weather reporter and teacher in Louisville, Kentucky, 1970 to 1974, White House press aide, 1974 to 1978, literary assistant to former President Richard Nixon, 1978 to 1981, CBS reporter and correspondent, 1981 to 1984, CBS Morning News co-anchor, 1984 to 1989, 60 Minutes correspondent, 1989 to 1998, since 2000, Primetime Live co-anchor, 1998 to 2000, 20/20 co-anchor, January 1999 to December 11, 2009, Good Morning America co-anchor, 2000 to 2006, Primetime Thursday Primetime Live Primetime co-anchor, December 21, 2009 to August 27, 2014, ABC World News anchor, recognition, 1997, inducted into the Television Hall of Fame, 2000, Daytime Emmy Award for Excellence in Morning Programming. 2001, named one of the 30 most powerful women in America by the Ladies' Home Journal. Frequently since 2004, selected for the annual Forbes magazine's list of the world's 100 most powerful women, reported that, between June 2005 and June 2008, she made approximately $12 million, solely from entertainment income. 2007, Emmy Award for Outstanding News and Documentary Program Achievement, Programs and Segments. 2009, received a Peabody Award for her work on A Hidden America, Children of the Mountains. 2007, granted a Robert F. Kennedy Journalism Award for A Call to Action, Saving Our Children segment on ABC News. 2012, received an honorary Doctorate of Letters from Brown University. Personal life: on April 29, 1988, she married Mike Nichols. They have no children. Nichols has 2 daughters and a son from previous marriages. Sawyer had previously had relationships with Frank Gannon, a Nixon aide, and Richard Holbrooke, a U.S. diplomat. Forbes magazine's list of the world's 100 most powerful women in Forbes magazine reported that, between June 2005 and June 2008, she made approximately $12 million, solely from entertainment income. References. External links: Diane Sawyer biographer, a Euro anchor, Good Morning America, at ABC News, dated December 19, 2009, Diane Sawyer at the Internet Movie Database.